I'm actually here to talk about some of the enemies I absolutely hate in Zelda. And, some that I actually really like fighting. Well, the first one that I hate, it's pretty easy in most Zelda games, but once you get to Skyward Sword, Armos become the most fucking impossible thing. They're not extremely hard, I just don't like battling them. First of all, because, in most Zelda games, like in Wind Waker, you had to hit them and then hit them in the back, which was fine, but in this one, you had to pull out your, reverse vacuum and spin the... I don't even know what they're called. Wow. Spin the thing on top of their heads, and then that should open their mouths. Well, inside of their mouths, it has two sides, and there's crystals on each side, and you have to hit those. I'm sorry for the long explanation, but some people don't own Skyward Sword, so... And then, the next one I don't like would be the Dark Knots. Mostly in Twilight Princess. They were a pain in the ass. I didn't like them. And even in Ocarina of Time, they were a little bit hard. Even though they were called Iron Knuckles, we all know that they're still Dark Knots. They weren't as hard as the ones in Twilight Princess. I guess if you played it on the GameCube version, it might have been easier, but I played it on the Wii version, and it was incredibly hard if you didn't know the move that you were supposed to use. I didn't learn that from the Wolfman. That's what I'm calling him. I didn't learn that from the Wolfman for the longest time. I could not figure out how to do it. And I finally figured out how to do it, and I had to go beat this Dark Knot, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna die. Whereas in Wind Waker, I actually enjoyed battling them. They were fun. There wasn't any complicated, moves or anything. You just sat there, Z-targeted them, and walked around them until they swung at you and hit the A button. Easy as that. And it was actually pretty simple. I really liked battling them. Most people would probably enjoy the challenge that the Dark Knots and Twilight Princess brought to them. But I am not one of those people because I am an intermediate game player. And I suck. There, we're just gonna say that. Yeah, I'm not the greatest, so. Another enemy I absolutely could not stand were the Redeads. They were a good element and everything, but I hated fighting them. The ones in Wind Waker were not that hard to beat, because once they screamed, at least you had a chance to hit them with your sword. But the ones in Twilight Princess were absolutely outrageous. Once they screamed at you, you were gonna get hit no matter what. Which is why I stuck with bomb arrows. Definitely the fastest way to kill them. Another one I don't like is the Floor Master. Or Wall Masters, for that matter, which they're basically the same element, except for one's on the floor and one's on the walls. Which, why don't they call them Ceiling Masters? Because you never see them on the walls. You see them on, well, you don't even see them. They're on the ceiling and they drop down and kick your ass. I didn't like them because once you got so far into a game, they drag you all the way back to the beginning of the temple, and that kind of sucks. Hardcore. Maybe that's why I like Twilight Princess so much, because they didn't have any. Which, it definitely helped me, because those temples were fucking hard. Well, for me. Most people thought Twilight Princess was the easiest challenge they'd ever had, ever. But for me, it was quite challenging. And also, there are some bosses, mini-bosses, that I really love. The battle with Girahim actually happens in the first temple, which I guess it's not really, it's hard, but I guess it's more of an introduction of the main enemy than anything. It wasn't that bad. I died about 3 times fighting him, which is kind of sad because it was supposed to be the first temple boss, but he was kind of hard. The motion gameplay kind of destroys me. But definitely, if anyone wants to play this game, I'd definitely listen to Fee. She definitely helps you. She definitely gives you a good analysis, and I mean, she told me that once Girahim grabs your sword, swing upwards, because that's the way his fingers point. That definitely helped me out a giant ton. And one mini boss battle or boss battle that I will always love is Phantom Ganon. Absolutely one of my favorites. In Ocarina of Time, he rode in on a horse and you had to shoot him out of 2 pitchers. That was actually pretty fun. I liked that. It was a nice challenge for me. Other people probably hated it because they were like, oh, it's too easy. I'm like, I like it. In Wind Waker, he shot the orbs of power at you and you had to deflect them just like the Ganon battle in Ocarina of Time. I don't really remember there being a Phantom Ganon in Twilight Princess. I don't think there was. But definitely one of my other favorites was Zant. Most people hate that battle with him, but I think it's so amazing. I mean, he acts crazy and psychotic, much like Girahim. Girahim's like this stuck-up bastard, and he thinks he's all cool and shit. And Zant was kind of the same way. And most people hate that they added that much story line to Zant and Midna, but to me it's just telling us more of the story of how Hyrule was and what happened to Hyrule. I don't know why people hate plot lines. Like, a video game is not just about battling. Would you calm the fuck down, okay? I mean, if you're into battling and shit and you don't really want to learn about the plot and everything, get a life. Then you're not a real fan, okay? I'm sorry if that pisses people off, but you're not. If you don't care to hear about the plot line, and if you don't want to try and figure out the timeline, then you're not a fan. You are just a random person playing random games. I mean, I definitely love these games. I haven't played all of them because I haven't gotten the chance to. But I have definitely tried. And although I will blank out on some of the names, that's not my fault. I do have a short-term memory loss, so please forgive me. I'm just saying, plot lines aren't always that bad, but, you know, to each his own. I really don't think I have anything else, mostly because this video is running to 10.5 minutes, but I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.